Hello and welcome to After Hours with me, George Bamford, and
me, Nicholas Foulkes.
Nick. This is absolutely amazing. We're in the Emory, and this is one of the most beautiful locations I think I've ever seen.
I would almost be happy never to leave. The view is just such bliss to sort of engage with. It's fantastic.
It's kind of the breathtaking views of London. So I'm very, very pleased to be here. So thank you, Nick, for letting us do this together.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And you've got your Japanese concept shop owner on, training shoes with a suit, very, very vigorous and youthful.
Of course, you're going to go at my trainers. Thank you, Nick.
No. You're a young man. You're a young gentleman. You wear those training shoes, sports footwear.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, I'm wearing some Nikes. But Nick, what are you wearing? I love your
I'm
shoes.
wearing a very old, and they're not that great shoes. It's rather idiotically, they're sort of old person's issues. My feet swelled up like little balloons.
Oh.
So I'm only able to wear about a fraction of my shoe wardrobe.
Well,
so I'm just down to a pair of, I think these are Edward Greens actually, but they're quite nice butterfly loafers.
They're absolutely beautiful. I love that butterfly. And what is on your wrist? Because
Rolex King Midas.
Now I love that integrated bracelets. It's absolutely stunning.
It's a fantastic watch,
and it looks amazing on your wrist. So absolutely amazing.
They did this because Piaget was doing very well with its slim watches with this. So they wanted a design that would be in that style, and it was, I think, the most costly watch at the time.
Wow. And
Elvis Presley has one, and John Wayne had one, I think.
Well, and Nick Foulkes has
yes.
one, so it's kind of it's an amazing thing. So Nick, we've got quite a lot going on today.
We have, and the viewer will be very amused by this. Welcome to the inaugural edition of whatever this is called, After Hours, I believe.
I love that you say that. Thank you, Nick.
After Hours, and here we are at the fashionable Emory Hotel in London's well, not quite the West End, but heading in that direction. Yeah. And in this beautiful view, the fake grass, and Ricardo Guadalupe. My old friend from God knows back, I think Bamford.
Yeah, 25 years, I would say.
More, I think.
Even more, 30 years.
30, yeah. Anyway, we're old men, let's face it. And they've got two young men here as well. George Bamford.
I'm feeling like an old man, but thank you, Nick.
Well, anyway, we're here really to, first of all, understand all about Hublot and all about your new project for them. And I'm going to wear it around my neck and in my pocket.
I'm looking forward to that.
And on my desk. It is quite a remarkable thing. So, first of all, Hublot. Tell us about Hublot. Tell us what it is and what it isn't.
Yeah, Hublot, it's 20 years I'm working with Hublot. And as you know, I started in 2004 with Jean-Claude Beaver.
Our friend.
Common friend.
Yes.
And Hublot is a particular brand, from the watch industry, because we believe that we represent what we call the art of fusion, which is...
The art of fusion.
It was invented by Jean-Claude, exactly.
Along with invisibility, and all you need is love.
Exactly. And so the idea is to respect the tradition of watchmaking, of course, which is 300 years, 400 years, but to try to bring innovation and try to make watches which are different, because Hublot is a young brand, founded in 1980, so 44 years only, and most of the traditional Swiss watch brands are over 100 years. So we have to be different. So that's why we created this concept of art of fusion to try to be
justify
different.
Anything, basically.
Yeah, and that's why we try to make watches in a different way, so with materials.
Do you remember the one that had a bit of grass in it from the football pitch?
Exactly. So
what football pitch was that?
That was Manchester United. That was Old Trafford.
Yes, I love that. You put a bit of grass in the watch.
That was...
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Exactly.
I mean, you must be one
but
of the first
the
people
basic,
grass.
We have been the first brand to come with a rubber strap. The rubber in 1980, yeah.
Really? I know it's famous for that. It's very popular with the Spanish market, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
King of Spain.
That was a classic watch, 18 karat gold, so a millinery material with a modern material, rubber, and as you can see, rubber is used by all the brands today in our industry. Then ceramic, then sapphire, then we created the magic gold, unscratchable 18 karat gold, so material, master of materials, and then the movement as well, because since
I think you've done this before, haven't you? You said this before. You're rather good. You're convincing me, actually. And I'm the most cynical man I know. But you collaborate a lot with football players, which I don't know anything about, so we'll skip that. Skiing, I think, which I don't do, so we'll skip that. Isn't there some other form of sporting act? Running. I fucking well don't do that.
Usain Bolt.
What about sailing?
Usain Bolt. But I mean, I can't even run for the bus. Well, luckily I don't take public transport too much. Otherwise, I'd be in trouble. So, but arts. Now, the arts, I think I'm on a bit safer ground here. So you have worked with Murakami and
Samuel Ross.
Samuel Ross
and
Saint-Bleu, tattoo
Jean
artist.
and
Orlinsky, French sculptor.
And now George
Daniel
his
Arsham.
old friend. So tell us how you
This is
met.
5 artists that you've worked with, and this is someone that's Daniel. I'm so pleased that you're here.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming here, and it's kind of amazing. 2 friends together and 2 friends together. This is kind of the culmination of when you and I first met. I think you're kind of going back in history. I think you and
We're going back in ancient history, I'm afraid.
Well, I think there'll be ancient history with.
I think we met 10 years ago.
10 years
Probably
ago.
what it was.
So, and it is amazing because we've both met through people that I think were kind of visionaries in the industries. In your industry, there's a great friend of ours, Darren, that was understood the industry. Jean-Claude understood the industry, and someone that is, a god of the industry. Darren is one of those people that understands.
What was it called? His space.
Pancake Epidemic.
I mean, that is such a.
That was a really.
It was
cool...
above a IHOP restaurant.
No, the
So, like,
International House of Pancakes.
Exactly. And that was the
Exactly.
coolest thing. And it was
That
the
is
original one, I think, or something.
Yeah.
But you and I sat in a room and just chatted.
He used to have these kind of salons that he would do on Friday mornings, once a month, breakfast and coffee, and he would invite like 100 people, creatives, people from fashion, music industry. I met people from Interscope Records there. Like, it was a kind of blending of all these different areas of his own personal interest. So I met George there and then visited him maybe like later that year in London at your space, kind of the headquarters of Bamford.
So it's been kind of one of those things. This is why we're so excited to get you onto our first one. Is two friends that have come on board.
But what is interesting is that it sounds a bit like what Hublot is doing in terms of aggregating a totally unrelated people, Usain Bolt and Daniel Arsham, for example, or whatever. It's.
But Daniel can run and play golf.
And he was playing golf yesterday in California.
That's right.
And
Pebble Beach.
He likes football as well.
Do you like
And
football?
football.
Do you like football? Gosh.
Yeah, he's done a good collaboration.
Italian team.
Yeah, Italian.
Inter Milan.
Inter
Milan.
Milan. Only the best. How many football teams do you do, Ricardo?
Oh, we do, more the national teams. Because we're going to have the Euro Cup starting next week in Germany. You don't know about it, but
You did Champions League as well, no? Champions League as well.
Champions League as well. Yeah, Champions League as well. So we're more at the now organization level, UEFA and FIFA, but we had
The World Cup, I take it you do.
the World Cup, of course. We had Qatar just in 2022, and the next World Cup is going to be in the USA, Canada, and Mexico in 2026.
Fantastic.
Can I just jump back to this artist collaboration with Hublot, because it does seem like you were one of the first brands to really kind of connect in. I know Nick will correct me and say there was an artist that worked with different brands, but it seems like you really have embraced modern artists with
Contemporary
watches.
artists.
Contemporary artists with the watch world. So what was that part of the DNA of Hublot? Has this been something that is a vision for the future as well?
Yes, I think we need also from the design perspective, the inspiration and innovation. You can have it also from outside worlds, not only our art of watchmaking, but also the art of an artist. And I think that's what we're doing, is being inspired with Murakami by his smiling flower that we put into a watch. Yeah. And today, the idea is to reinvent, even it's not a watch, it's a pocket watch. So the idea of Daniel was really to try to come with something totally different. And I think thanks to this collaboration, we are really inspired and in creating watches or timepieces in really a different way.
But you really have, you fusioned with the art.
Because your
Exactly.
disciplines are pretty varied, aren't they?
I just make things that I like.
Including films, buildings.
Cars, buildings, film, painting, sculpture.
It's a global
And
perspective.
stores as well.
Keeps things interesting.
Store designs.
Store design through snarchitecture.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
you are multifaceted.
The Renaissance man for the age. Tell me how. But how do you introduce yourself? You just say, "Hi, I'm Daniel," or
I mean, I guess artist is the easiest way to describe it. It's sort of all-encompassing, but maybe the word is not, feels less useful after having gone through working in cars and all these different areas.
and
Yeah.
is this the first watch you've done?
This is the first from scratch design. Yeah, I've played around in other things before, but you know, when I first visited, Ricardo invited me to Switzerland. It was about 3 years ago, really just to visit the factory and understand about the technological advancements that they had been doing there. And so much of my sculptural work is about kind of like an alchemy, right? Taking some materials, we were talking about the amethyst that's in your
Yes.
ring, using materials for in new ways. And one of the incredible things that I saw at the factory was this use of sapphire crystal.
Yes.
And when they grow the sapphire, they begin it from a seed crystal, right? Which is then carried on through all these generations. And when it comes out of the machine, it looks like a molten blob of like lava. They take this very irregular amorphous form and actually mill like cores out of it, typically to get the shape of, right, the case for these sapphire watches that they've created. And so I started thinking, you know, maybe there's another way that I can use the sapphire. My initial idea was actually not to create anything that you would carry around with you. It was to create a clock,
Oh wow!
right? Then I started thinking so that's where the idea of this came from. Maybe I can create something that we can carry with us and also becomes a clock that can sit on your nightstand or on your desk. But also just really looking at the kind of evolution of carrying a timepiece or a clock with you, which would have began with a pocket watch, right?
Yes, yes. Well, a drum clock, because actually it's interesting, in the Renaissance, people wore drum clocks around the neck, which I believe you've got here.
I do have a version of that.
We're still doing it 500 years later or whatever. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So obviously going from the initial idea of saying, okay, I want to make a pocket watch, to the actual development of that, you know, this still had to meet all of the watchmaking standards that Hublot, you know, employs. So the water resistance, obviously the time making capabilities, and all the functionality. One of the things that I also really liked was this technical ability of the bands on this watch to be changed out. So we redeveloped that in the clip for this watch so that it can sit on this stand, it can sit on a necklace, right, which will go around your neck, and it can also sit on a chain that will clip as a traditional pocket watch.
Well, if you're going to demonstrate, you've got to live by your words.
So this is, yeah, the one-click system that we have patented. And it's really interesting because you can change very easily, as you can see.
But Daniel, there's some other details I'm absolutely obsessed with on this watch as well. Is your rubber detail?
Yeah,
You
the
know,
rubber
the
detail around
tactility, the
edge.
tactility is
and
fantastic.
using your iconic double
double
A,
A.
I think
And the
is
colour,
the color is something that I think is absolutely amazing.
I'm
Nick,
hypnotizing you.
Nick, this is very, very you as a pocket watch. I feel like it fits you very.
Maybe
very,
as a necklace as well. I like a good necklace.
but the
Let's try the necklace.
try the
Try the necklace.
and the making this necklace. The necklace is out of titanium that I think is absolutely amazing.
So titanium are used as a form of, like a structural form, typically in the Sapphire watches, and I wanted to employ that in a larger degree. So this is original chain design that we developed in-house, and the clip system is now, it's double-sided. So the engineers, I worked with them to basically create it so that it would fit into the bottom of this. You know, typically you
Doesn't
would
matter
never
which way you do it.
want to make an object this heavy. But as a pocket watch, it just feels like this very
But it feels
beautiful-
like it's great. It feels like a pebble in the hand. You know, it's fantastic.
Well, the whole design of it was literally based on this kind of ergonomic shape. So it fits in your hand perfectly.
It's fantastic.
Right?
Now, Ricardo, just on this design,
better put it
you
around
like Samuel Ross
You might
when
take
you
your
worked
glasses off.
Take the
with
glasses off.
Samuel, he kind of pushed the envelope. Murakami, as you said, pushed the envelope of actually moving out of the watch.
What do you think?
This is kind of another push
Getting
of
congruous,
the
but
envelope.
We need a close up of this.
You know, this is also quite a big thing for a
It's
watch
quite a
brand.
big thing, full stop.
Well, Nick, actually, it kind of looks
Totally out of place on me, I know.
No, well, as a necklace maybe, but you do look a bit like the mayor of London with that.
I love the mayor. No, I need more gold if I'm the mayor of London. Maybe I'm the mayor of London in the future sometime.
Okay, you're the futurist. Yes, exactly.
I'm
Well,
the future mayor. But everything is now. The stand, I love the stand. Is that? I mean, did you devise all of this, or did Ricardo do anything to actually help you?
The engineers
I just,
at Hublot,
yeah,
we worked very heavily.
we did the
to
technical
develop the
concepts.
stand.
You
But
just-
I must say the creation in this case is 100% from Daniel. But we ask, of course, to have some identity of Hublot as well.
not too much.
And the screws, for instance.
The screws, Ricardo. That's the
No, on the bezel.
Yeah.
You got the screws.
The screws is our DNA,
Yeah, well,
you
there we
know.
are, there
Always
we are.
screws on the bezel. We have the screws. Our movement, you know, it's a Mecha-10 movement. And of course, the materials that have been used, you know.
even the push-in crown as well.
The
That
push-in
that
crown.
was
Yes.
that was something that I
Hands.
Yeah.
I mean, there is.
The hand.
That's
A lot
why
of
we have this
engineering gone
fusion
into it.
between Daniel Arsham and Hublot.
I know. I know. But tell us about the movement then.
So it's a manual winding movement because, of course, when you have a pocket watch, the watch doesn't move, so cannot be rewinded. So manual, 10 days power reserve, 100% in-house, skeletonized with a.
This is quite a famous movement, isn't it?
Yes,
When
it's
did you launch it?
We launched it 8 years ago, I would say. So I think it's a perfect movement for a pocket watch. 10 days power reserve is really enough to use as a pendant or a pocket watch, or even
As a stand, yeah,
as
as
a
a
stand. You know, you have to wind it once every 10 days.
I love the idea, the combination of the three options.
I mean,
with
the other thing that I really thought a lot about is Hublot's DNA is very orthogonal, very symmetrical. Everything is in its right place. This is the first asymmetrical object that they've ever created.
Yes.
And thinking about asymmetry and the way that the form bends light because of that, there's no curved surfaces on any of the other watches. And so the Sapphire, one of the very difficult things in developing
Yes.
this watch was the curve of the exterior surface.
and to keep it as clear as possible. That must have been
As clear as possible.
that's-
Because it's almost like a giant, it could almost be like a giant date magnifier, couldn't it?
Yeah. Or like a droplet of water is what we started to think about it
That's
as.
why it's called
Called Arsham Droplet.
Arsham Droplet. That's the name of the watch.
So you've got
The
three
pocket
timepieces in one, really. You've got the one around the neck, you've got the one in the pocket, and you've got the one by your bedstand. So now we have to know what it costs.
Yeah, it's of course, you know, it's a
Very
big-
reasonable.
reasonable, around 80,000 euro.
Oh, okay.
and limited
here-
edition 99 pieces, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's great. I mean, it is unique.
Can I just ask one question? Because I am totally obsessed with packaging. This is one of those pieces that it's so unusual. I know we talked about Droplet, but it's also how you've designed the top of it, how the relief is on the top of the, you know, every element of this. As a brand and as a designer, you have gone into every element and gone, okay, this has to be right. It feels very in the sense of Japanese in that way of like the packaging needs to be perfect.
I think, you know, this comes from me as a collector of objects, collector of art, collector of design. The packaging and the complete experience of how you are introduced to the object is so much part of the way that you experience it. So the droplet forms on the lid, the materiality of that, it's totally made out of aluminum, right? Sandblasted aluminum kind of gives the feeling of like a MacBook, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a double set stackable tray in there. So,
So
you,
you can
you
put-
could
you can
store
put
your
the-
watch
you can
back
put
in
the-
there, and then below the chains.
Oh,
fit in.
wow.
Oh, that's
Different
great. I
layers.
love that.
Here you go.
And then below that is the
Show that to the cameras, not to me.
Here we go. Well, I know, but Nick, it's kind of one of those things. But I love
And is this where you put the bed? This is where you put the nightstand.
Look,
Yeah.
you've described something.
What is
it
what's
feels
it made of? What's
very
it made of,
Apple.
George? What's it made of, George? Rubber.
no, it's leather.
It's
leather
Let's
wrapped.
have a look. Let's have a look.
So-
Nobody tells me anything.
So,
So this
what
is where all the chains would sit.
But
inside
what
of
I would
it.
say to you is, what you have done is, it feels very Apple in the design with the
that's right.
hinge design, but it feels futuristic. And I know that you are always pushing to the future, or you're branding everything with
Yeah.
the future. This does feel like a relic that could turn up in the future.
I love those relics. They're just brilliant because it reminds me of Planet of the Apes at the very end of the first one, when they go around the corner and see the Statue of Liberty sticking
Yes,
out.
sir. Yes, sir.
I love that. I love that. Well, you've got a dinner to go to.
Yes, we
You've
do.
got a dinner to host, and you want a nap before dinner. I know. So
I'm getting too old.
I'm
like,
older than you. I'm older than you. I'm almost 60.
like me, we're the same age.
Yeah, but they look. I mean, you just look better than I do.
No.
Yes.
Nick, I think that is really like your vibe.
I think it is actually working, isn't it? I mean, it's one of these. It's sort
I
of
can't wait to see you wearing that for one of our other.
on the beach.
You know,
Yes.
the pocket watch is really about looking forward in the design, but
Yeah.
a remnant of this other era.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. I mean, I'm doing what is sort of a 16th century burgher in, I don't know, what should we say, in northern Italy would have been wearing, or something like that, to demonstrate my being au fait with contemporary engineering and so forth. But anyway, look, I'm keeping you from your rest and your dinner, and that's it. That's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, George, that was quite something, wasn't it? I like your friend Daniel Arsham. He seems a very nice man.
Well, I like your friend. So, I mean,
Ricardo, we've known each other 1,000 years, if not more.
Well,
It's very important, this being on the internet, that you click the link below, or the subscribe button, or whatever it's called.
but
Because
also,
we need followers.
of course, we
We need
followers.
those who tread in our footsteps. We need those who follow our words and hang on every syllable.
We'd love followers. But also, the other thing is, do check out Daniel's video.
This is brilliant piece of filmmaking. It's like a James Bond movie.
Honestly, he looks. You're right. He looks like James Bond.
He does.
Kind of,
Trudging through this very architectural-looking snow, and apparently it was done with a body double in Iceland, and then they shot some of it in Canada with him. So it's a proper production, multiple locations around the world.
for an amazing pocket watch that you wore as a necklace.
Yes.
And it's a desk clock as well.
Desk clock as well. It's fantastic. I mean, three timepieces in one if you count the chain where you put it into your trouser pocket as well.
That was absolutely amazing. Nick, actually, this has been such an amazing first episode.
Yes, let's hope not the last.
Well, let's hope. And thank you very much for watching.